little things, like start building the muscles like that, but that's at the very end.
So how do you do that? See how that process again of
once I've got an underdrawing down and I've got all the colors, then I'll hit it with fixative, and that'll give it a sandy surface. And then I'm just going to draw. Then I start drawing much more precise.
So it gives it tooth for the pastel to stick to.
Yeah, it's a workable fix. It isn't to keep. Everybody thinks it's to keep the pastel.
And so you're going to do that to this one in here.
I usually get a piece about 3/4 of the way done, and then hit it with fix, and then the last quarter is what you're going to end up seeing. So what I'm doing now is mainly going to be covered up later, but I got to get the everything under.
So this is the under stuff that you got right here.
This is the second piece I've done called Catfight, and I did one a couple of years ago, and I like parts of it. But I'm thinking I'll destroy it eventually, but I like the idea. So, but anyway, I thought, well, maybe I'll use parts of it and do it as an oil, but then I totally reworked it. Everything's different. You know who that is?
No.
Tom White.
Let's see. Oh yeah, there he is. Cool. So you do work from reference material, other piece, or what? Oh, you got some stuff here. And who are these people? Just people you know?
Some out of magazines. Some of them are my friends. Some of them are me.
Oh, there she is.
Yep.
Self-portrait.
Yeah. See, I cut the hands apart so I could be fighting with myself.
So then you said when you're done with all this, you're going to do what to it? You'll spray a fixative or something over the whole thing?
It'll look, I'll have most of the paper covered, and I'll have the colors that I want, but I'll hit it with a fix, which slightly darkens it, so then I'll come back and I'll get the finish that I'm wanting. The surface is important.
And so the final touches on the picture, the muscle tone and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll all show up. Like I can draw the shadows in. I'll probably start doing them in dark but more vibrant colors. And then when I come back with a surface skin, it'll just shine through.
Wow.
So I've learned how to do that fairly well with pastel. I haven't figured out how to do it with oil yet.
Sure.
That's a lot of.
Well, say something about your pastels. Where'd you get your extensive collection?
I've been using Rembrandt and Schminke for quite a while. Rembrandt's medium hard, and that's usually the student grade, and then Schminke is extremely soft. It's a German brand. And
so there are different softnesses?
And I do an underdrawing in Conti, which is hard pastel first, usually in red and black. And I'll show you a red and I did some. I did 4 bull's head just in pure Conti, which is kind of a classical technique. You see it a lot among the romantics.
And that's what you did for this here?
Yeah, red, black, and white. Actually, 2 reds, a black, and a white. So I'm just try and push it to get as much variation as I can. Out of just those colors.
And is that like a wax crayon? How's that different from like oil pastels or something?
It's fairly soft. It's like a charcoal that's pressed together with a real small amount of a binder, so it's got a little tiny bit of waxiness to it, but not nearly like an oil pastel.
Okay.
So it's more like charcoal.
Okay.
Except slightly harder, slightly waxier.
So tell me more about your collection here. You got all kinds of colors here, it looks like. And
then these are Terry Ludwig's, which are handmade pastels, and I got them from Darryl because he had bought all these pastels and then decided he didn't want to be a pastel artist, so he traded me a pastel drawing I had done for his whole collection.
Oh my goodness.
Of Terry Ludwig.
And he's out of where? What state is he from?
Darryl?
Yeah.
He lives in Marxhausen.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Okay.
Cool.
He's our president.
That's right, of the Nomo group.
Nomo art. Had enough.
So it's nicely heated in here.
Oh yeah, I got it a bit too hot probably. Yeah. Well.
So you can work in here year round?
Oh yeah, we put a huge amount of insulation upstairs. That's why the building's so tall. There's a lot of insulation up there.
Cool.
So it's easy to heat. Yeah, I work here. I usually work 6 hours a day every day.
Wow.
I've found if I work, sometimes I can work 7 or 8 hours, but usually at the end, past 6, I start doing bad work because it's so mental. So
sure. Oh yeah.
I would rather just work every day and and space it out more.
And so, can you say where some of your stuff is shown?
What, galleries?
Yeah, like what
late,
states and all that kind of thing.
It's mainly local. The Late Show in Kansas City, Beecham's in Topeka, PS Gallery in Columbia, Missouri, and let's see, I've got a couple of pieces at the Beach Museum at K-State in Manhattan, and some stuff like in Wisconsin.
Really?
Well, I used to do art fairs, and so I sold stuff. I sold a couple of pieces to the University of Wisconsin, which is on my resume, but I cheat because it's the University of Wisconsin at Wausau, not Madison.
Oh.
That's not as impressive.
So is the art fair thing a good route to go for artists?
For some. I never did great at it, and then it started, as the economy started tightening up about 4 years ago, I was doing even worse. I have friends who do a very good living at it. I never quite did. I just barely, and then it was getting worse, so I decided I'm going to push the galleries more.
Yeah.
And you need to look at who's buying your work. You kind of study the demographics. And I found probably about 75% of my audience or my customer base is either some kind of artists or academics, which is not a hugely moneyed group, and it's and it's not, and they don't hit the art fairs a lot. So I'm better off dealing to the galleries.
Tell me what you like about the Late Show. And because you say they sell all of your works.
Yeah, Tom's. It's very informal, very casual, not a snooty type of gallery at all. Well, it's like places I saw back in the 70s when I was a hippie. Tom's never grown up, so.
Sure. And he's got good connections.
Tom's got real good taste. He's in a lot of artists, I see a lot of good stuff there, and it's a lot of emerging artists. There's not so much established artists who are raking the big bucks and are extremely successful. Tom's made some good successes, and it's just fun, and I like the customers. Everybody has a good time.
So say one more thing. You told me once about when you were at the state fair that it's always good to go up and meet people from other galleries and say something about the connections of, because in the art realm it's like, you just walk into a gallery and show your stuff and everybody knows you. Well, say something about that process, anything, just...
Well, to a certain extent you do have to go schmooze, because people are not going to just discover you. No matter how great a work you're doing, if you don't get it out there and where people can see it.
Right.
And it also, pretty much, people will help you out if you're, if you're nice and if you help other people out. Artists need to hang together.
Yes.
So, I go to receptions and stuff. It's nice to show up at somebody else's reception if you can. There's nothing worse than being all alone there at your opening.
Yes.
With your sad little smile pasted on your face. I don't mind. I mean, I've had openings where I was a little wallflower, and I've had ones where a bunch of people show, and boy, that's very exciting and fun. And I go like to the Missouri Top 50 every year because I always run into people that I know, directors and people from the Arts Council and professors and stuff, and if you keep showing up year after year, they finally remember you. And they might ask you to do a show.
Cool.
I did a show at the Albert Kemper just because I kept entering the members exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, they asked me if I wanted to do a show, and I did. That was the only time I got my name painted on the wall.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my big goal in life, have my name painted on the wall. And it also looks good on my resume. You know, that you put what shows you've done, and if one of them was in a museum. Actually, I'd like more of them in museums.
Yeah. And you've been drawing for how many years, would you say?
Oh, let's see, I'm 54, maybe 50.
50 years, there you go.
Probably, yeah, at least. But, you know, it wasn't until I went back to school that I really started doing it full time again. So the last 20, I graduated from college in 91, so the last 20-some years, we're going on 20 years, yeah. I probably started back to college in 88, or 88, so it's been over 20 years I've been working full time.
Wow. Anything you want to say to young budding artists?
Do a lot, draw a lot or paint a lot, create a lot of work, and look at a lot of work. Those are the two things that will help you grow as an artist. Be nice to people. There's a lot of cutthroat competitiveness in art. And it's easy to get jealous of people, but just, you know, help each other out.
Yeah.